This here is the world's first broadcast microphone that can connect in 3 different ways. For the die-hard XLR fans, you can totally connect this to your Rodecaster Pro 2 or Elgato Wave XLR or any other XLR interface. For quick, simple, and affordable solutions, you can also use this with USB. Just simply connect it to your computer system and you're done. And for creators that are looking for simplistic use but need these microphones to be further away without having to run XLR cables or USB cables, then you can also connect this wirelessly. All right, let's go take a look at what's inside of the box. Now, the microphone that you're listening to me on right now is actually the Maono PD200W. I'm opening up a brand new box with this so you can see what's inside, but the sound that you're hearing from is this microphone, and it's being used in the wireless mode. So you get to hear exactly what this microphone is like. Now, you'll see there's different types of wireless and wired modes here. So you could use this on a computer system and use a wireless dongle to that computer by the USB-C. You could also connect wirelessly using the USB-C dongle to a phone. Now, obviously, the newer iPhones, 15, 16, and 17 will have USB-C. If you have an older Lightning phone, that's not going to work, but this microphone can be used wirelessly to those different types of devices. And then wired, obviously, you have multiple different types of options here. You can connect by USB, and you can also connect by XLR. So as we open up this first flap, we can see here's a user manual and a quick connection instruction set. And inside here, let's get that focus going. You can see that we've got the microphone itself. Now, this microphone is pretty good quality. I do like it very much. It's got a metal housing. It's not very, very heavy, so it's not going to weigh down your microphone arm if you actually have one of those here. And it's got your metal screen and then also your foam pop filter here, which connects on. Obviously, this is a little LED ring. What's nice about this, you can see here, you've got your dedicated mute microphone button, as well as a dial here that can be used to adjust both the headphone volume as well as the microphone volume itself. So this is going to be key once we get this guy connected. This also comes with a really nice shock mount. Now, this shock mount here is made of plastic, but it does have some rubber bands inside that keep it working very well. We'll just test that out later. And then the rest of the plastic housing that goes into your microphone stand. All right, so that's the first piece there. Now, the next piece here is going to be the USB cable. And I think there's a couple of them. So you've got your USB-C to USB-C cable. It also has a USB-C to A adapter, which is nice. And then it's got a very short cable, which is USB-C to USB-C, an extension. And then also that can connect into USB-A. So that's another option here. And here's a tiny little box. And here is a USB receiver. So let's open up that and see what's in here. There it is. So this is the USB receiver itself. So how does this work? Well, it's USB-C. Just plug it in. That's it. Now, you can see here it's got TX1 and TX2. That means you can connect up to 2 microphones in this one receiver. So I have 2, and I'll show you what that actually looks like a little bit later. Let's pop that back in the box. Oh, sorry, there's a couple things in here. Here it is, a couple of extra bands. So these are the shock mount bands. So if these break or stretch out, you can replace them with these extra 2 that come inside of the box. And what else is in here? Okay, so that's it for the top layer and the bottom layer. Okay, because we have the desktop mount option, you can see here is a nice heavy metal base with rubber feet on it so that doesn't scratch up your surface. It's very nice. I've got to say it probably weighs a little bit, maybe over a pound and a half, which is nice. Again, this microphone here is not very heavy, so it's going to work out very well with this. And here is the base or the connection that goes in here. So let me just throw that box aside. So essentially, this is just going to screw right into the bottom. And very simple, very high quality. This is really, really nice. And once you've got in there, you don't have to crank it really tight because you're going to make it permanent. But that is actually really, really nice. Now, this dial here allows you to extend this pole. Now, let's see what the height is on this. So the height of this from the bottom of the item to here is going to be about 9 inches. So you can have the microphone sitting on your desk 9 inches high, and maybe a little bit higher actually, because this point here is 9 inches. So now I'm going to just screw on the microphone. And be careful when you're doing this. You don't want to strip any of the threads, because that will just permanently ruin things. Now, once that is tight, I'm going to lower this. This little dial here allows me to adjust the angle of that head. Now, there are little friction points, little clicky points. So you could, you can, basically put it almost at any angle you'd like. And that's pretty much it. So it's just going to sit on your desk just like that. And you may have to angle it up a little bit, or usually not down, but definitely up. So that way you can have this mounted to your desk, and all of a sudden you've got this connection. Now let's take a quick look at the back of this microphone. You can see here we've got a big XLR connection here. This is going to be for those individuals who have an XLR interface. Again, Rodecaster Pro 2 is going to be more than able to handle this. The first Rodecaster, the Scarlett 2i2, or any of the Scarlett series, as well as the Elgato Wave. This isn't going to be requiring a ton of power like the Shure SM7B. So any XLR interface is going to work well with that. You've got a USB-C connector over here that connects directly to your computer system. You've got a headphone out jack here. Now this is for self-monitoring. You could also listen to everything on your computer. So when you change your Mac OS or your Windows speaker output to the PD200W, this allows you to hear everything that's coming from your computer system as well as yourself. Now, this is really important for headphone users, because when you're wearing headphones and you're talking into a microphone, a lot of the times you can't hear yourself, and that is very, very distracting. So by doing your self-monitoring directly through hardware, it is in real time. Here is your power button, and also when you press it, you can also affect the lights and the sequence and the kind of lights on that. All right, so we'll take a look at the top again one more time. That's what the top is. You've got your dedicated mute button, and then a volume dial for your microphone sensitivity, as well as your headphones. Now, for anybody who wants to connect this wireless microphone to your DSLR or mirrorless camera, or any device that has a 3.5mm connection on it, you're going to need this guy here. This is the Maono camera adapter, and this allows you to connect the camera, or this wireless microphone, directly to this receiver to any device that receives a 3.5mm connection. It comes with a TRS coiled cable, TRS on both sides, as well as a small USB-C cable and a little camera bag holder, a little microphone device holder. So what you have here with this device is the ability to connect up to 2 wireless PD200W microphones. You've got a USB connection on this side, a 3.5mm output, and on the other end you've got a 3-way switch and then another USB-C cable for charging. So this one has a little Thunderbolt adapter or Thunderbolt symbol on it. This one's for charging and recharging this guy here, and then this one is for USB-C connectivity. So this means you should be able to connect this to a computer system by the USB-C data cable and use this as a receiver as well. Now, once you have this end of the 3.5mm connected in, you can use this hot shoe clip, connect that directly into the camera, and then this guy goes into the 3.5mm receiver on the camera. Now, this 3-way switch is really cool. You can see here on the most left side, you've got M, that stands for mono. You've got 1 in the middle, that stands for stereo, and then mono with a safety track. Essentially what this means is, if you're only going to use one microphone, then switch to the mono setting. This makes sure that both the left and the right are using the one microphone. Now, if you have 2 microphones on your wireless connection here, then go ahead and do stereo if you would like. And what happens is, one microphone is on the left channel, the other microphone is on the right channel. If you happen to use 2 microphones and you have this on mono, it means that both microphones are mixed together into the same channel, or both of the channels left and right. So if you want to separate them for post-production editing, then you can do that. Now, the mono with the safety track, this is actually a really good track option here. So now the mono with safety option here is a really great option, because what happens is it connects both microphones to a mono channel, but let's say, for example, that's on the left channel, and that is at your recorded volume, and on the right channel, it would record another mono track, but at a few decibels less. So that's called a safety track. So that is actually really neat. It does not save directly onto this device. It saves on your camera in two different tracks, left and right. One is at normal volume and the other one is at a reduced volume. Now, if you're going to use the desktop edition version, I'm just going to let you know that the maximum height of around the middle of that microphone is going to be about 13 inches off of the top of your desk. So if you need anything higher than that, then you're going to probably look at using one of the boom arms that also is available as a package from Maono. Now, throughout the majority of this video, you've already heard how this microphone sounds through a wireless connection. Now let's switch this over to XLR and hear what that sounds like. Now I'm using the Elgato Wave XLR, which is one of my favorite super simple to use XLR interfaces. Simply connect two cables. One is the XLR cable, the other one is the USB-C cable. Connect it directly to your computer and you're done. Now the PD200W does not come with an XLR cable, so do keep that in mind. Now wirelessly, the PD200W allows you to connect up to about 100 feet, maybe even more as other people have tested. However, because it's wireless, it also could get interference from other different types of wireless devices. So if you are going to go a distance, I definitely recommend using the XLR option because you can go several hundred feet without any degradation of sound. Now let's connect this directly to USB and hear how that sounds. And you're now hearing the PD200W by USB. Does it sound any different to you? Put your headphones on and see what it goes. Just go back into the video and see if the sound is any different. To me, I haven't heard any difference. All three of them are super high quality. Now keep in mind the USB option is a great way for you to not have to deal with the wireless interference issues where potentially some of the audio may degrade. I haven't had that, but it's possible with wireless. But your USB connection is going to limit you to around that 3 meter or 10 feet mark. And if you are going to use a third-party USB-C cable, make sure you use an extremely high-quality USB 3.0 or higher cable that it can do at least, I'm going to say 10 gigabits a second up to 40 gigabits a second for those Thunderbolt types of cables. Okay, so we're going back to wireless mode. I'm going to now test the Shockmount itself, or the Shockmount, to see how much it actually transfers sound. So I'm going to thump on the table a couple of times. Does that come through? Other than the sound, does it make a clunk, clunk, clunk sound, right? I'm going to tap on the microphone or handle the microphone itself. All right, did you hear anything there? And now I'm going to lift the microphone up. Now, this, you can definitely do this. This is kind of the fun part with this broadcast microphone. You could go ahead and walk around with this microphone. Now, I'm about that 4-finger width distance, and that's typically where you want broadcast microphones to be. However, now let's do a little bit more of a sound and distance test. Now, the proximity effect basically says that wherever the sound is coming from, the distance between that and the microphone capsule, the sensitive part of the microphone, the closer it is, the better the sound is going to be. Now, obviously, I need to down my voice a little bit, but you can hear that it's much more crisp and much more bass to that voice, right? Now, I am now about a foot away from the microphone. I'm speaking generally normal, as if I was doing a presentation or recording to a video, and now you're going to be hearing it about 2 feet. So this is about 2 feet distance from the microphone. I'm still speaking fairly normally, and now I'm just going to put this down on the table and just aim it down a little bit. Okay, now I'm a little bit over an arm's length from the microphone, and the question is, how does this sound? Obviously, I can see the microphone audio. The volume is a little bit less, of course, because I'm at a significant distance, and you really don't want to be using a broadcast microphone from this distance, but I'm just giving you an idea and a sense of what this sounds like. Now, let's also go and talk to the side of it. So I'm now about that 4 fingers width distance. I'm just going to turn the microphone to the side. So this is the side of the microphone. You can hear what this sounds like, and I'm going to go ahead and move to the back of the microphone. Does this microphone still pick up? What does it sound like? This is going to be what the sound on the other end of the microphone is going to be for your people that are doing the podcast or the video recording. This is the other side. And as I move directly into the front, I think I did a general good job keeping similar distance, 4 to 5 finger widths away. And this is what that sounds like. Now, some people may be thinking that they can use this kind of microphone in an out of shot type of a sequence. So I'm just going to use my hand and I'm going to hold it up, and I'm going to still aim it at my mouth, but keep it outside of the camera frame. So you can see that I have this now pointing outside of the camera frame. I could increase the volume a little bit to see if this is going to pick up anything. It's right outside. You can see right at the top. It's right at the top, just outside of the camera's range. And this is pointed at my mouth. So it's a little bit in front of me. And you now can hear what this sounds like from an overhead shot that is out of the camera shot. One of the big questions is, how does this take plosives, right? So these are where your mouth goes a puh, and anytime you do a P word. So Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. All right, now that's with the windscreen on. So let me just take the windscreen off. Now there's no windscreen here. So Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. All right. How did that sound? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Now, here are my final thoughts on this microphone. I really like it. I think it's a great value. For around $100 US, you can get one of these desktop microphones, and it has all three different types of connections: USB, XLR, as well as wireless. Now, I don't necessarily see myself connecting this to a smartphone, but you definitely can with the USB-C adapter, or optionally, you can buy the Lightning adapter, which will connect into an iPhone 14 or older. But I just love the options of being able to take this microphone anywhere and not have to route any cables, because if you're running a podcast, then you definitely want to pick up a second one here, because the same connector can attach to both of these microphones wirelessly, which means that there's no mess, and really you can get started very, very quickly. So if you happen to have a podcast that is on the go and you're going to different locations, you can take these guys with you and just leave them on the table, power them on, and they're ready to go.